Whoa. I took an edible and it's finally hitting me now. So behind on editing vlogs, but hopefully this will be the start of getting into it. As some of you know, I have been living in New York for a while, hence the constant background noise in some of my recent videos. When I first came here, it was just to visit and try things out, but I ended up really enjoying my time in the city, which is kind of a surprise to say because New York is basically a shithole, but I'm someone who's used to constantly struggling, so having a fast-paced environment and constantly going out with a general sense of anxiety in the background at all times was really just my natural habitat, so it all clicked for me. I did vlog my first time living in New York, so this video will be a documentation of the things I did within the first month. Some of that ranges from checking out queer bookstores to visiting free art exhibits and even going to upstate New York with cute small towns and going apple picking, so a lot of cottagecore vibes there. All of these new experiences felt like I was looking at the world through a new lens, which is very fitting because I actually need new glasses. So thankfully, Warby Parker has provided me some, and they are also the sponsor of today's video. I know, classic transition. They offer everything that you need for happier eyes. So they got sunglasses, eyeglasses, contact lenses, and eye exams. You can shop for them both online and in stores. So I've been taking advantage of their free home try-on program. It's basically this program where you can order 5 pairs of glasses just so that you can try them on at home for free, and then you just return it with the prepaid label that they give to you. I tried it on this past month and it was super easy to use. I ordered 5 pairs of glasses and I tried to pick different styles so that I could compare and contrast them. And again, it was super easy to return all of the frames, didn't have to spend a single cent. It's only when you decide to commit to buying a pair of glasses that you do pay, and they start off at $95 with prescription lenses included. So if you would like to try 5 pairs of glasses at home for free, you can check out the link in my description. It is warbyparker.com/withcindy. And now let's go ahead and put on our rose-colored glasses as we explore New York for the first time with me. During my first week in New York, some friends were visiting from Boston, and one of them constantly saves places from TikTok to try out. So while she used me for free housing, I used her as my tour guide. We started our day in the Lower East Side and tried Korean corn dogs for the first time. Honestly, eating this has changed the whole fucking game for me because ever since I came back to the city this year, I've been eating these whenever there's a shop nearby. It's so easy to eat, so cheap, it's like $5. I got the squid ink flavor that was half mozzarella, half hot dog on the inside. I don't even care if some pervert is watching us eat this phallic-shaped food in my video. It's fucking good, goddammit. After that, we started a bookshop crawl around the Lower East Side, starting with Blue Stockings Cooperative. This is a super cool bookstore. It's LGBT owned, so all of the books and products were very gay. They also stock mutual aid like condoms and COVID tests, so you can get these for free if you need it. It's just really nice that there's a community resource for people, and at the time that I went, they had this wall where you could pledge anything in the shop to someone, and people who match that description can take it. So for example, $10 for any BIPOC or queer person, $5 for someone with OCD, $6 for a disabled person. It's just more examples of how this bookstore gives back to the community. You know my body never known. The second bookshop we checked out was Sweet Pickle Books. This is a used bookstore that is exactly how it sounds. It sells both books and pickles. Totally different vibe. There's lots of weird, quirky, eclectic shit that gets collected in the store. The owner opened this shop when she got laid off during COVID, and this is like a dream for her that she's always wanted to do. We love a girl boss who combines 2 of her biggest passions together into a cute, quirky store. Then the last bookshop we visited was McNally Jackson. I think the most unique feature is all of the books hanging from the ceiling and the walls decorated in pages. Other than that, it's a pretty typical bookstore though. Like the first two that we went to was more curated and has smaller selections, whereas McNally I feel like has tons of more books. I guess it could be like a good indie alternative to Barnes & Noble or Amazon, because fuck Jeff Bezos. Since we did so much walking, we filled our bodies up with a bunch of food, starting with bowls of pho at Madame Bo and some cake at Prince Tea House. Their crepe cakes are very yummy. It's overpriced, but I have too much of a sweet tooth to resist, so fuck it, have my $10. This is a boba crepe cake that my friend got, and here she is fucking up with the balls, which is not the first time she's done that apparently, but that's the story for later.
Out last week, I met this girl.
Yeah, what about it?
Well, she blocked me on Tinder.
What? 7 days since she left, I'm still amazed the way she dressed.
And then the night wouldn't be complete with some more gay bullshit. So we checked out a drag show in this coffee shop that was right across from my Airbnb. The girls there were working it. I popped an edible, so I was definitely vibing along. And someone even brought their dog inside the shop, so I was all over him. A bunch of drag queens and a dog. I mean, like, how much better can you get with that?
Think about her, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Ooh, I like it, baby.
And then the next day, we met up with some more friends for brunch at Good Things. Do I think brunch is a scam? Kind of, but I also need socialization to fill the holes in my heart, so I'll take it as a necessary expense. I also recently got converted to boba. I know I'm very late to the game as an Asian, but I was converted thanks to Elias, and now it's nice to just have a sweet treat after a meal. I got a mango drink right when my edible hit, and then my appetite was insatiable. I ended up getting 2 hot dogs from a food truck and an ice cream cone, so basically any food that I passed by, I wanted to eat it. We walked across a park very suitably called the High Line. Get it? Because I was high. It's less than 2 miles, but because I was inebriated, that shit felt like it went on for hours. Time no longer existed. I love being a stoner. That is basically the moral of this story. And I love snacking so much. On my second week, I had another friend come visit from Washington. She was getting a tattoo in Brooklyn, so this was the first time that I explored the Williamsburg area. There's a bookstore called Spoonbill and Sugartown Books. They have fiction along with rare art, architecture, and design titles. So a very good fit for the artsy, fartsy, hipster demographic, which I think is most of Williamsburg, and is connected to an indoor mini mall that had lots of tattoo and piercing shops, a couple of clothing stores, and cool graffiti over the walls. Afterward, my friend and I wandered around the area to visit a coffee shop so that we could grab some dessert and get some writing done. So the afternoon was actually pretty productive before we headed back home. And I made sure to grab a poke bowl for dinner along the way. Allows you to pick from the menu, or you can choose to build your own. So I built my own bowl. I usually get the large, but this time I got a small because I decided to treat myself out with boba. The cool thing about this specific shop is that if you go with the small size, they give you the drink in like a little light bulb. I'm gonna relax tonight, edit some videos, and then get ready for the weekend where I will be getting brunch with my friend Nikki and her boyfriend. The city has truly made me an extrovert. It's also made me spend way too much money. On my third week, I met up with some more friends in Koreatown to grab food and boba. I know what you're thinking, since when the fuck did I have so many friends? It helped that I also found this free event at The Shed that weekend. So The Shed is this cultural center in Manhattan. They were doing a limited program with Project Liberty that was all about data visualization. So it was this installation that invited viewers to examine their relationship to their data and think about who owns it and who profits and what the world might look like if everyone owned and controlled their own data. It's the kind of idea that would make Mark Zuckerberg sweat a little, like if robots could physically sweat. I think even if you didn't know what the message was, people could still enjoy the experience though, because the screens would actually respond to people's physical presence, and it was just like this cool immersive experience. Believe it or not, I was not stoned during this experience, but imagine how trippy the shit would have been, so lost opportunity there. Because I love free things, we went to even more free exhibits. So this one was called Ravishing. It was presented at the Fashion Institute of Technology. All the garments there had one common element, and it was the rose. I feel like roses are such a common symbol, but people can do so much with it. Roses have this influence on how people look and dress and feel. I love seeing the dresses and suits and the different ways that people interpreted the rose in their designs. And obviously dessert is a must, so we checked out this bakery called Harbs. I still think about this place to this day because the cake was so soft and moist. I don't care if people don't like how that word sounds. Grow up. That shit was moist and it was so freaking good. And then we ended the night checking out more bookstores. You know the drill, there's only so many things I can do as a fucking nerd. However, I am a nerd that gets recognized in public by viewers, so that is cool too. It is 1:30 a.m. I have finally arrived back to my apartment. I changed into my PJs and I got McDonald's for dinner, a very sophisticated option. I normally don't do this, but I am going to actually read a book while I eat. I usually like to watch a TV show instead, but I got this book from Kinokuniya today and I'm so excited to read it that I'm just gonna go ahead and start it. Like, I already am loving seeing all the photography. It's so cool that the book highlights the elderly in Chinatown and what clothes that they're wearing, because I never really gave it much thought before. But the way that the photos are laid out are kind of like a lookbook, and I think that's really cool because it sees like all these nice details, and you kind of wonder like, why did they choose these specific clothes? Ooh, look at this one. That pattern on her jacket looks so cool. Actually, I would wear this jacket. These are great colors. Oh, and if you're also curious what my McDonald's orders are, I got medium French fries, and I always get 20 chicken nuggets. I don't know why I suddenly turned this video into something that's about my preference in books. Whoa. I took an edible and it's finally hitting me now. Well, since it's hitting me, I guess I probably won't be able to read this book after all. Either way, I had such a great day today. I'm loving New York so much. I love hanging out with people and just enjoying myself, and it's all good. I know I'm being very sappy right now, so I'm gonna end it, and I'm just rambling because I'm inebriated. Goodbye. Finally, during the last week of the month, I went to upstate New York and visited Cold Spring. I have some friends who are getting married in a week, so they were driving up to the groomsmen's hometown to get prepared for things, and they were nice enough to invite me along for their ride. Cold Spring is technically considered a village. It's very cute. There's tons of small shops and little markets, lots of antique stuff. I think older retired people would enjoy staying here because it's so much quieter and peaceful compared to the city. intensify the cottagecore vibes even more by heading to Dressel Forest to go apple picking. I have never picked apples or any fruit in my life. I don't believe in labor. Frankly, I think it's suspicious that my white friend asked his fiance and me, both people of color, to go apple picking with him. Very suspicious indeed. We did get to enjoy the food though, like apple cider at the orchard and even apple cider donuts from a farm market. Then for dinner, we stuffed ourselves at a German restaurant. I forgot what I got. It was this very cheesy dish though. It was really good. And then obviously we checked out the local bookstore in town. I quite clearly have a very limited range of hobbies, as you can tell. And oh yeah, I also got a wig for the trip. There was no reason for me to wear it. I just wanted to change things up. Do we like the hair? Yay or nay? Let me know. And so that concludes the first month that I spent in New York. I hope you enjoyed being extroverted with me. Go ahead and unsubscribe. Bye!